You guys ready?
Hell yeah.
All right,
welcome back to the Fade, baby.
What's up, man? This is The Fade, the podcast.
Yes, sir.
I am Glenn.
D. Cruz.
Eastwood. All right, so we wanted to first give you a little insight into who we are and kind of why we're doing what we're doing. And, yeah, I mean, for me personally, I ended up coming here because of my kids. I ran into you guys that way. And, you know, just from always coming in here and seeing, you know, like, I know, D, you've always got a lot of younger cats as your clients, which kind of intrigued me. I mean, you kind of were the ones that started talking about it in the first place was like, every time I'm in here, we always have some off-the-wall conversations. Any and everything is never off base of being in the discussion.
Almost seemed scripted.
Almost. It really did.
Yeah.
It was like we were preparing for this. So we had the idea, and then I was telling you about it.
Right.
And you were really pumped up about it. And
right.
so then when we all kind of got together, it just made sense. So that's kind of where we're at. I mean, collectively, all three of us have been through, a lifetime of crazy experiences that kind of brought us to where we're at. So I mean, my main goal and I think our main goal is to kind of give people a reminder that life isn't so serious, or don't take it so serious. It's okay to relax and breathe and have some fun. And at the same time, we want to help motivate and inspire people. You know, we're going to have a lot of people come on the show that have been through a whole lot of failures and have been through a whole lot of situations and didn't quit and ended up, you know, being very successful and still are successful and still have a whole lot of goals that they want to get to just like we do. So I feel like we're going to grow as this goes, and you're going to get to see that and also see the growth of a lot of people that are going to be friends, and we're going to have some surprise guests that are,
yes, sir.
You know, that's going to come on from time to time. It's going to be a lot of fun. So for me, this has been like a labor of love for 3 years. I had the idea to want to do a podcast 3 years ago, and then I just kind of sat back and did nothing. So it took, you know, that was kind of like my MO for a few years. Was I had all these ideas, I always had these things I wanted to do, and then never did anything about it. So for me, this is going to be fun because this is just like another example of what like a little bit of action can get you, and how you can really manifest something for yourself and live how you want to live and do the things you want to do and have as much fun as you possibly can while doing it. We have a whole lot of different agendas is what we want to talk about and what we kind of want to reach, and that's, I think, what's going to be the beauty and most interesting thing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what's making me want to do this podcast is basically good fellas use this as a pillar of communication, just to see what like everyday people talk about in a barbershop, like for real, like I mean, and just capturing that essence, you know, for real is why I'm trying to do that, and it's gonna be fun, really. You know, I'm just here for the fun. I'm here for the good shit. Like,
They say, truth is definitely stranger than fiction, and man, when I tell you, some strange shit be happening every now and again, man. Just the conversations, man. But like, I don't know what's the show, Luke Cage. I don't know if people familiar with that, but in the beginning of the show, they was like, when you at the barbershop is like, that's the safe haven, that's the safe zone. Like you're supposed to be like. And nothing's really inappropriate. Now, if there's women and children around, you got to be mindful of that. But really, like, whatever's on your mind when you in the shop, man, you can talk that in. You got people that'll feed in, because it's almost like somebody say something, and you're like, damn, I was thinking that, but I thought I couldn't say it. When you sit in one of our chairs, shit.
I mean, let's be honest and talk about the elephant in the room. I'm really white. You know, I'm really white. So for me to come into a place that could be considered the hood and come into the barbershop, I first of all get looks at like, who's this dude? And then he'll line me up real good, real nice. I will never go to a white woman again. No offense, ladies, I love you, I always will. But my lord, like you make it look so nice. But I come in act like I'm supposed to be here and talk and say things that come out of my mouth, and people look at you like, who is this guy? Is he crazy? Is he not? And that's my favorite part about it. I like it because, I mean, I always grew up that guy that was always like the token white guy.
Right. I'm not a big fan. Like, I say be who you are, man. Like, I'm not really one of those dudes where, like, you the white dude who, like, yeah, I'm black. Like, no, you're not, dude. Like, just be who you are, and, like, we can groove. Because this dude, he white as hell. He like a whole ginger.
Super white, yeah.
know, but it never stopped. Like, I do want to say this, though. He got black kids.
I do. I'm raising 2 Africans.
2 Africans.
2 Africans. That's what I'm raising, yeah. So, you know,
sure.
and let's be, I'm ginger, but I'm light skinned.
You light
so
skinned,
for sure.
for sure.
We're going to talk about a lot of things I feel like people are making big issues about and aren't being honest about. I feel like there's a whole lot of victims now. I feel like, because to me, social media has made it real easy for everybody to latch on and have a soapbox for literally everything. You remember a time when, I know I can, when if you had an opinion, first of all, you kept it to yourself because we were kids.
Right.
But like, if my dad or somebody had an opinion, they like went to their 3 friends that came over.
Yeah.
And said it.
Yeah.
And talked about it. If they wanted to get someone else's opinion, they would ask them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so for to see like the difference that it is now, where everybody has something to say about everything, you're either gonna really take a breath and laugh and be like, they're right, or you're gonna get mad, and that's gonna make me happy because then I'm gonna keep poking at you until you loosen up. Because we're not here to attack anybody or anything, but nothing's off limits.
Yeah.
So
everybody want to be a victim though. Like, everybody's brutal, but then they want to be a victim. Like, you'll jump on somebody's comment and just say the worst shit you can possibly think of to them. But if somebody did that to you, now you crying and you going to HR. You got all these problems. It just amazes me how, like, when no one can. But I mean, I guess that's how life is. But when no one can see you.
No. I can tell you. I can give
want.
you the number one reason for all of it. It's the participation trophy.
Yeah.
That ruined
You want to
everything. You said. Remember, you said it took the bully out of the school.
Yeah. And we need bullies, man. I know that sounds messed up, but you need bullies because, in all actuality, you're going to be bullied your whole damn life, man.
Were you ever scared to walk down the... Well, probably not. No. I wasn't. I didn't get stuffed in lockers.
I mean, I was
never got
scared.
picked on, which was cool. But I feel like people try to pick on people and they make a big deal about it. But doesn't that usually happen, like, online?
That shit blows my mind. Hey, so you cut on your computer, somebody's talking shit to you, it's hurting your heart, and you like, let me keep reading what they have to say. I mean, cut that shit off. Log off, dude. Read a book. Do something else, man. And in the words of DMX, if I let the words of another man bother me, I might as well let that same man bother me, man. I don't give a damn what you think about me, man. Because my mama think I'm handsome, and that's all that matters. So
that's true. My mom actually bought me a shirt one time that says my mom thinks I'm special. Except it was written in different letters. So she was trying to tell me that she dropped me on my head a lot. Yeah. She told me all the time that I was... So thanks, Mom. Appreciate that.
You know what? Hey, this is going to be completely... fucked up when I say this, but you know what? I take people, like, I can tell how people are, man. Check this shit out. Now, y'all might not have thought about this, but hey, when you go into someone's house, look by their light switches. People flick boogers, and that's what they land. By light switches, dude. You can tell if there's boogers on somebody's wall that they're fucked up.
I'm gonna tell you what white people do. They don't flick them. They'll wipe them on the wall. Swear to God. And I'm not saying that's because I've done that ever in my life. But yeah, that's the difference. You'll see smear marks.
Hey, but those are the people.
Especially bachelors, because who actually wipes their walls down? Women. That's it. If I didn't have a good woman, my walls would not be wiped down clean, probably.
But that same like thought of thinking is like, it's like, you know, people do shit and it's not a problem until it's caught or to other people notice it. You know, like if you was able to put, like, soon as somebody put a bogus comment up, you click and you know exactly where they was. People wouldn't say the stuff that they say. They wouldn't say the racist shit, the sexist shit, the homophobic shit. They wouldn't say any of that.
I think a big thing too is that everybody I think everyone's looking for that I'll do anything to have my 5 seconds
Right.
Of, you know what I mean? You got shows, and I'm not knocking them because I'm a big fan of ridiculousness. I love the TV show.
That shit's funny,
But,
man.
yeah, it's hilarious. It's a great TV show. It's a brilliant show. You had Tosh. You had all that stuff that shows those videos. Now, good on them for finding the videos, but now you got anybody that's like willing to put World Star even too.
Yeah, you're
so
willing
you got
to
anybody
die
who's
for
willing
5
to
seconds
do
of fame.
anything just to hope that your video gets on, so you can be like, I was on TV for 5 seconds.
You think it
yeah,
started
man, you
with
fucking dumb though, man.
like Jackass? It started with like Jackass when everybody want to be
white people.
Yeah, and you got people doing shit like I'm gonna walk in and steal this and then run off. Hey man, that shit ain't smart. You people catching cases so they can get 5 seconds of fame. Like, I mean, but you know what? I kind of look at the world like the Walking Dead TV show, man. If people familiar with that, it's like really the majority of people are zombies, and there's a few of us who are trying to navigate through the world. But as you move through the world, there's zombies surrounding you and everything you do, like zombies to the television, to the internet.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I almost feel like a straight old dude because, like, if you see me in my phone, I'm not online. I'm playing spades. I'm a boss at that shit. But I hate looking at that type of stuff, man, because it's like, I know like, the suicide rate is up in America, and I can guarantee you that shit's because of social media, man. Like,
We're talking about social media, and I'm not hating on it because I remember, that's what I was saying, you know, I was in a band, and I do have, because you were saying they got all these followers and not real friends. Now, that's what I was saying, is I have a lot of friends, and then, you know, by my own actions and my choices, you know, I struggle with addiction, so I personally was like, at that point, it was out in the open, right? So I feel like that's kind of a thing, is like, you know, if you make it public, you're either crying for help or you're not, and people are watching no matter what now. I mean, that's just the way it is, and that's, so for me, like, for the last couple of years when I was getting myself together, I kind of like did a hiatus and didn't even get on my page and just left it. So people were on there kind of like, man, if anyone sees Glenn, let me know. I'm curious.
Yeah, that's
you know,
that's pretty
so
much
it wasn't that I wasn't
it.
trying to be rude or nothing, but it's like, at the end of the day, like you said, for a big part of my life, I was worried if people liked me or not. I wanted people to accept me. I cared, and I was letting people project their limitations and their judgments onto me, and I was trying to live up to that. I wasn't living how I wanted to live. I wasn't living how Glenn wanted to be. I was living kind of based off of what everybody else was thinking and saying. And it's not a knock on them. I mean, that's just kind of what happens. But, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like we're here to live like the freest life you can. I mean, we are the highest form of creation. I mean, we're the, you know what I'm saying? So, for me, it's like we're in a kind of a time where I think people are spoiled, you know? You have everything at your fingertips. Like, I was having a conversation with a guy who's actually sponsoring us in this podcast, is Destry. He owns the Philly Wagon. And we were having a conversation. He was like, you know, do you think, how many kids do you think you could talk to right now that could tell you how the last time or how many days that they went without having a meal? I couldn't tell you one when I was a kid of a meal that my parents let me miss.
Right.
Like, I had it. Now, when I was older, I was homeless and I missed meals because that was by my own admission, that was by my own choices, you know what I mean? But he's right. I mean, everything is here. And now to the point where it's like, you know, kind of like, oh, here's some eggs. Well, I wanted oatmeal. Like,
yeah.
Well, I didn't get a choice when I had food.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Man, you know what I mean?
Hey, my mom had that.
You know
what's for dinner? We having catfish. I won't get a shit. You must not be hungry.
I guess you're not hungry.
Yeah, or that you wanted to stop at McDonald's and boss be like, we got food at home.
At home.
You know what that is? Ramen noodles. Shit.
Yeah. So
that choice, man. Like, people have all of those choices, and like,
you take it for granted.
You do. And the craziest part about it is that, like, people have so many choices that they take for granted, and ultimately, I, myself included, we make a lot of the wrong choices. Yeah. And the reason we make those choices are like ego based and pride and shit, like, which is like
my ego.
That's like ego, man. My ego has got me into bad places in my life.
At a time when I would wear short jorts, and double fist whiskey. my ego was very strong. My head wouldn't have fit through the door, bro. They couldn't find a hat big enough to fit my head because it was so big.
Short
And people are
shorts.
laughing right now, especially the guys, sorry dudes, that had to put up with me all the time. Because I was
shorts.
that guy.
Short
Shorts, bro. Like it was cool. Like I was.
Your balls falling out.
Yeah, dude. As if like I was setting a trend where people are like, "That's gonna be hot. That's gonna catch on." They're gonna
Pockets
see
out,
they're
pockets
gonna-
out, Drew.
bro. Almost,
out.
almost Daisy Duke, bro. Like I'm talking, like I'm wearing skinny jeans still, but still,
He
bro,
has
like
skinny George shorts on.
I'll put it to you this way: I played a show at Point Fest, and we played. It went great. At 10 in the morning, and then it was like open bar for the rest of the day, and I drank a lot.
Shorts on.
I went through the shorts on, and somebody came up to me and was like, I forget who it was, man, and I wish I could remember his name. He goes, you need to go put your pants back on. I was like, nah, bro, it's cool. I mean, walking around like I'm like, no, man, it's cool. He's like, no, it's really not cool, Glenn. Like,
bro.
it's not cool, Glenn. It's not.
He was the first dude with the eggplant emoji with the George.
It might have been. I might have
Yeah,
been.
bro.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's being generous.
Hey, you-
That's being
But now that we cause we've all had some pretty like wild moments as youth and as kids.
Absolutely.
Now that you're a little bit older, like what have you done to help you balance it out? Because you still gotta have some of that in order to be living, or to say that you live. You still gotta have a little bit of that about you. But like, you know, now that you're a little bit older, like how have you balanced out, or what have you done to help you balance out, or what has, you know what I'm saying? What
Okay,
happened?
well,
what happened?
To get through that I was always looking for something outside of me to be like the end all be all saving grace. Like I was always latching on to something. I was never the problem. So you can talk about victim. I was the number one. Everybody was, man, I can't believe. Never taking accountability for my own actions. Never actually saying like, man, I messed up. Until it was too late. Until I had lost everything. And then that's when I would backtrack and be like, that's my fault. That was on me.
right.
Yeah, oop, my bad, bro. But how many times do you say you're sorry? You know what I'm saying? Before you actually start to do something. So, I mean, I was homeless. I got shot in my shoulder with a 9mm. Like, how does that? I'm a ginger, bro. That doesn't happen. I'm not supposed to be in the hood. I'm not supposed to get shot. But it happened, right? You know what I mean? And that it is what it is. I did all that, and I can remember where I was staying and the people I was around and the situation, and I just couldn't take it anymore. It was like I was either not going to make it or I was going to do something and make it. And I can remember I was walking. I just went on this like journey to look inside myself, and I was just like having one of those moments where you're talking to the sky and you look crazy. You know what I mean? If anybody would have drove by me at all, they'd have been like, that guy didn't take his medication today. One of those moments. But I mean, I started looking internally and started, the best way I ever heard it put was by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's a great neuroscientist. He's done a ton of extensive research and is brilliant. I mean, if you can ever check anything out, I will plug that for sure. The dude's a genius. And he said, in order to change, that means you have to live better than your current situation. So I had to start taking a look at exactly who I wanted to be, where I wanted to be in every aspect. I'm talking morally, I'm talking, you know. I was always like, if I have a job and I get that car and I get that girl, I'm cool.
Good.
And then I would get it, but yet I still was like not happy, and I was still self-sabotaging.
You'd be
Still
surprised the smallest things is what really brings
Yeah,
you
man.
to
I mean, and then once I started fixing me and changing me, it was funny how everything else around me started to shape up the way that I imagined it could and would. You know what I'm saying? Is like this. I would have never ever thought that I would walk in this building, run into you, and have the podcast and actually be filming it right now and talking about my experience or what got us here at all. The first time I had the thought, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this podcast. I can say something funny. People like me again. Yeah, it's gonna be cool, right?
Right.
No, I mean now it's not even about that. I mean now it's like
That's just a
you
true
know,
story.
it's just it's fun though for me because like you know I get to help you guys out. You guys are really good at what you do. We're filming in the barbershop. Fun fact: when we have people come on for these interviews, they're gonna be sitting in these seats and getting cuts. that's something different that we can bring to the table, and I think that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I really do. I want to, and just the thought of having that atmosphere of the shop really intrigued me, and knowing who you guys are and what you've been through, and we're going to touch on that too.
Right.
I mean, we all have our own unique way and our own unique stories, and it's not just us, but I'm talking everybody as a whole has their own unique story and their own unique journey and how they got to where they got to.
Like, the craziest part, like with me, is like, of course I did. It was just funny hearing him say the story about the music, because that's pretty much like how it happened for me. It was like I woke up one day, man, like on record deals on the table, man. Like, me and my guys, hundreds of shows, man. Travel the country, man. Shout out Phobic Corley, my brother, love you forever, man. And like, after doing all that, it was like one day I woke up and it was like every time I went out, it's like every bar, it's like people, they calling me the rap name, and I'm like, damn, these people don't even know me for real. And my ego took place again, and I just like, it's like I quit. And the craziest part about me quitting was like, that was the only thing I ever knew that I ever was good at. Like, that's all I ever wanted to do since the time, like, when they say mixtapes, shit, I got cassette tapes. And I ain't even that damn old. Like, that's just how far I did, man. And what's so wild about it is looking back now, I realized that I was in a state of depression, man, where I got a studio in my house and I sat in there. I would be in there 4 days in a row, wouldn't come out the room.
Let me ask you
all
I had that moment that you're talking about. Except it was way worse for us because we had a group of guys and we felt like, did you put like a self-inflicted pressure on yourself because you felt like you had to deliver?
Yeah.
Whenever it wasn't even that serious, all you had to do was do what you love to do, was create, because that's really what was doing it for you. See, I put this pressure on myself because I had friends that would come up and be like, man, we're going through college right now, and anytime we're, I'm down and out and I want to give up and quit, I put your record on and it gets me motivated. And I'm like, man, that's cool, man. Yeah. So you have that aspect of it, and you understand that. And
that's why it was hard for me to just stop doing it, because it was like, it wasn't one of those things where I'm like, I know I'm dope. It was like everybody like, dude, you're dope, you're dope. It's like when I stopped doing it, it's like people missing me. Like, you ain't at these shows no more. And like, I'm really in a damn sunken place, man. Like, I'm really here. And the crazy part is, like, I'm not one of those dudes who wears emotions like that. So you never know, like, I'm smiling every day and everything's good. And I can be honest, man, like, shout out to the Most High, because the Clippers is what actually saved my life. Like, that is what brought me back, because it was like, I'm an artist. Like, I'm an artist. You can't contain an artist. And this was the way that I could do my art.
Do me a
favor. It just felt so much better.
Not to cut you off, but tell the story of how you convinced me that I could have hair again.
Well, I told you, man. I'm like, hey, listen, bro.
No. I mean, because I used to have a faux hawk in my band days. I was like, that was my thing. People liked it. It was cool. I was like, yeah, I like the faux hawk. And then, thanks a lot, Uncle Chuck and my grandpa on my mom's side, because they went bald around the same age that I started thinning my hair out real bad. So I decided a couple years ago I was just going to start buzzing it and leaving it. And I came in here one day and looked at you. I was like, you asked me, you're like, what are you going to do with your hair? And I was like, what do you mean? What am I going to do? I said, what? Hair? I don't have hair, bro. I don't know what to do. Yeah, you convinced me. Man. You were like, nah, man, we can go to Zero Guard.
Gave him that casket.
And then just let it grow. So I know that's how you and I kind of were. I mean, we were kind of broken and had to rebuild. You have something that's kind of similar, but you were really broken.
Yeah, right.
Like, you were like legit.
He really was the biotic man in his mom.
Like, tell us there, because I only know pieces of it, so I'm interested to hear the whole, briefly, but I mean,
so the whole thing. It went like this. It was a cold Saturday morning.
Just to make it short, 2012, I was involved in a home invasion, and I was shot 4 times.
Here I am complaining about being shot once.
By 3 different shooters.
Damn.
So, I got hit in the back of the arm with a .357 Magnum. I got hit in the chest. It went through my lung, my heart, hit my lower atrium, and shattered my T6. So, I got hit in the back of the leg, and I got hit in the forearm. So what's so cool about this is the fact that I'm standing up, right? So, because a lot of people don't get to really talk about situations like that. Period. First and foremost.
Yeah.
Okay, let alone get to stand and talk
about it. Let me ask you a question.
You
What
know.
was your? Do you know what your chances were to make it through that? Did they give you a chance to even survive?
I didn't. Low chances. I was supposed to die.
That's what I'm saying. So
And then if I lived,
then they expect you to even walk or anything,
I wasn't
right?
supposed to walk. I'm not supposed to have like the rounding in my arm was supposed to take my arm off.
Wow.
I got my arm. I pull a good one off when she's talking shit.
Yeah.
It's a
But
blessing.
that shows you,
That's a
man.
blessing.
Like
I'm blessed.
that shows you a
We're all
man.
blessed.
Like
And you can cut.
no
yeah.
man can tell you when you really gonna go. Like that's all on the Most High. Like yeah, you're not gonna. They told Bruce Lee he was never gonna walk again.
Divine design is incredible.
Real fast,
Like,
because I know we're talking about something serious, but you
Yeah.
said Bruce Lee. Do you guys know what his favorite drink is?
What's that?
Water. Do you like that? Do you like that?
Dude, look at that.
I couldn't help it. Sorry, that's my fault. That's my fault.
We need some chimes or some cymbals. That's what we need.
But he here, and he's still able
Yeah.
to move and do his thing, man. Like you could have called it quits. Like I don't know if you know, like looking back, because I'm sure you still that shit gives you PTSD and you still think about
it's
it.
very real.
But like
PTSD
that
is very
moment,
real.
just think like in that split, because you know our life is split second decisions.
Yes.
So what if in one of those seconds your eyes blinking, your lights and shit, and then you just like, well fuck it,
And shut down.
I give up.
And it was just that easy.
It's just and you die. You die if you give up. But
It was just that easy.
like, but that actually shows you like how life is, man. Like you may not have the physical bullets in you that have you on the ground that's killing you, but life itself may bring that upon you where you feel like you're dying. You feel like this is the end. But dude, you can't give up. There's two type of people. You got people that fight. You got people that's good with flight. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but you have to pick which one you're going to be. And me myself, I'm a fighter, man. I don't know how to really just give up like that, because I always think like in all reality, man, there are millions of people who have died so that I can keep fighting.